Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. I don't know if you guys saw this, but my boy Jeff Passan is all over it. Says a proposal to delay the season was doomed from the get-go, and now Major League Baseball and the players are preparing to go to spring training in 2 weeks and start the season April 1st as scheduled. Details on how they got there at ESPN. Well, let's go over to ESPN and check it out. So the Major League Baseball Players Association rejected a proposal by MLB to delay the start of the season. So we're going to get into that in a second. MLB wanted to push the season back. They wanted to start it later. They wanted to play fewer games. Well, the Players Union rejected it. And the league has now said that it will start spring training and the regular season as scheduled. So both parties went back and forth, but in the end, no deal to push back the season. Spring training will begin on February 17th. That'll be the report date. And April 1st will still be opening day. So on Friday, MLB proposed a 154-game schedule that would pay the players for 162 games and pause their arrivals to camp until March 22nd and the first games until April 28th. Now, the offer also included expanding the playoffs from 10 to 14 teams and implementing the designated hitter in the National League, which I did like. The union, like they normally do, immediately balked, citing language in the proposal it believed would grant Commissioner Manfred more expansive powers to cancel games in the event of potential COVID-19 outbreak. So MLB and the MLBPA have been going back and forth for a while about pushing the season back and delaying it, and it wasn't until this past Friday that it had agreed to do so with full pay, which the union had been saying from the beginning must happen for any deal to be struck. Now, the players were emboldened, which I don't even know what that means, by the knowledge that the collective bargaining agreement mandates a 162-game season and that they would need to be incentivized to move back the season. And clearly they were not incentivized enough. Lingering resentment from failed negotiations to begin the 2020 season colored the discussions, and could continue to do so as the parties negotiate a CBA that expires December 1st. I'm sure that it will. While the rationale of the league was salient and shared by scores of people across the sport, that a delay would allow COVID-19 cases to recede in the Arizona hotspot, where half the teams in the game train, as well as across the country leading up to opening day. Players questioned how much of a factor health and safety concerns were versus teams' desire to play more games in a coronavirus-friendlier environment, allowing more fans in the stands and more money to be made, of course. The result was representative of the relationship between MLB and MLBPA, one that teams, another word that I'm using for the first time here, with distrust and frustrates both parties, but in this case is unlikely to cause any games to be missed. Now, what might not happen are expanded playoffs or the universal designated hitter. Again, I've been a fan of the universal DH. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I am not a fan of watching pitchers hit. I want to watch real hitters hit. As far as expanded playoffs, I've talked about it before. I don't want to just allow every team in the league to make the playoffs. I want the regular season to matter. Also on the list of potential casualties, 7-inning doubleheaders. Who cares? A runner starting on second base in extra innings. Who cares? And potentially using neutral sites for playoff games. Whoop-de-doo. All of those issues could be revisited in the coming weeks as baseball sorts through the wreckage of a proposal that, it became abundantly clear on Monday, was doomed to fail from the start. So in Zoom calls, players continued to share their belief that they want to start the season as soon as possible, and they cited not just a desire to play now, but to avoid pitchers ramping down their arms before what many expect to be a taxing year in the wake of a shortened 2020 season. So pitchers are preparing to play this year, and they're saying they don't want to then have to shut things down. They already got messed with enough last year, and so they want to just continue on and play as normal. So it also says that while players told ESPN they believe a delay would be good for the sport because they fear that April is the likeliest month for potential outbreaks and cancellations because the COVID-19 vaccine won't be as widely distributed as it would be in later months, leadership on the players' side saw the proposal as uncompelling and was clear in its desire to reject it. I just don't think these sides can really ever come together and agree on anything, basically, I think is what it comes down to. And then the question was whether the union would counter. In discussions between MLB and MLBPA on Monday, the league offered to eliminate the language about Manfred's powers, to which the union objected, according to sources. And then MLB also suggested it was open to helping offset the cost of broken leases for spring training lodging, an issue that bothered players. Other issues the league intimated were open for negotiation as well. The union was unmoved. It believed the CBA provided all it wanted and did not make a counteroffer. And here's a statement from the MLBPA. They said, "We do not make this decision lightly. Players know firsthand the efforts that were required to complete the abbreviated 2020 season, and we appreciate that significant challenges lie ahead. We look forward to promptly finalizing enhanced health and safety protocols that will help players and clubs meet these challenges. Our 2020 season taught us that when the nation faces crisis, the national game is as important as ever, and there is nothing better than playing ball. We were able to complete a 2020 season through Herculean efforts and sacrifices made by our players, club staff, and MLB staff to protect one another. We will do so again, together, as we work towards playing another safe and entertaining season in 2021. And so with a lot of these things up in the air, it talks about star players like Nelson Cruz and Marcell Ozuna remain free agents, and the lack of a universal DH almost certainly would push Cruz back to an American League team and hinder the market of Ozuna, who is seen as a defensive liability. And lastly, as Manfred implemented the 60-game season last year, the sides agreed on the eve of the season to expand the playoffs, though the $50 million playoff pool was the impetus for players to agree. With full pay expected in 2021, sources said they are likelier to hold on to expanded playoffs as a bargaining chip for CBA negotiations that are bound to be contentious. It is going to be contentious. I mean, I'm nervous that there's not going to be baseball next year because I don't think these two sides can come together on anything. So I'm a little bit worried about that. And everyone's trying to hold on to some bargaining chips here. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I mean, may it have been a little bit easier to just push things back a little bit and get a little bit closer to allowing more people to be vaccinated? Maybe. Other sports have continued to push ahead. There have been outbreaks that have almost potentially derailed some of their seasons, but they've continued to push through, and so far they are still playing, and so baseball is going to go for it as well. At least that's what it looks like right now. So thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Give it a thumbs up, share the video with all your friends, all that good stuff, and we will talk to you later.
If you've enjoyed this video and want to learn more about building the elite swing, check out our new course. We have over 2 hours of content, almost 30 hitting drills. We break down the exact mechanics that you're going to want to implement into your swing. I've put the link in the description if you want to go check it out.